Never thought my worst nightmare would show up in broad daylight. The HOA president's son tried to claim my Harley, like it was his birthday gift, and when I told him no, he went crying to Mommy. Kylie Trent, queen of the HOA, claimed the board had approved temporary custody for a compliance check. Translation: theft, wrapped in pink paper. The only thing tested that day wasn't my bike, it was my willpower not to bury a wrench in someone's skull. Let me back up. The sun hit the chrome, and for a second, my driveway became a stage. On one side, me. Black leather jacket, red undershirt, jeans, boots planted on oil-stained concrete. Beside me, my bike, an '06 Dyna. Red tank, chrome everywhere. 88 cubic inches of American steel. My grandfather's legacy. Not just a machine. A memory. The last real piece of him I've got. On the other side, the opposition. Kylie, arms crossed, pink jacket blinding enough to hurt. Fake cheerfulness wrapped in polyester. Next to her, Evan, 16, drowning in a hoodie, smirk plastered on his face like he already knows the ending. Behind them, 2 cops leaning on the curb, bored, waiting for this circus to end. Kylie's voice cut the air. This bike is a nuisance. A violation. As of this moment, Mr. Hart, it's ours. She tapped Evan's shoulder like she was crowning him king. He turns 17 next month. He'll keep it safe. Evan smirked wider. Mom said you'd give it to me anyway. The audacity almost made me laugh. Almost. I stayed quiet. No yelling, no anger. My grandpa always said, fix the problem. Don't yell at it. So I listened. Kylie ranted about noise ordinances she'd written herself, anonymous complaints I knew were fake, and aesthetic violations that didn't exist. Finally, one of the cops stepped forward. Older guy, tired mustache. Professional. Ma'am, we're here because you reported an HOA lien. But that's civil. We can't seize personal property without a court order. He turned to me. Sir, this your vehicle? I nodded and handed him a sleeve of documents. Title, registration, insurance, laminated, perfect. He checked the VIN against the bike. A clean match. He even photographed it for the report. This motorcycle is legally registered to Mr. Hart, he said flatly. No liens, no issues. HOA fines don't grant seizure rights. This is civil, not criminal. Kylie's smile cracked. She sputtered about lawyers and authority. Evan's smirk faded into confusion. The cop gave her the look of a man who'd seen too many Karens in one lifetime. We're done here. And with that, the cruiser pulled away, leaving me, Kylie, and her sulking son standing in the quiet. Her eyes locked on me. The performance was over. What came next was a threat. This isn't over, Ben, she hissed. I nodded slowly. I knew it wasn't. People like her never quit. They just move in the shadows. That night, Uncle Donnie came over with a decibel meter. His leaf blower hit 92 dB. My Harley? 79. Quieter than her lawn crew. Paper beats yelling. Proof beats power. But this wasn't about noise. Or money. It was about control. My Harley was freedom, a symbol she couldn't bend to her will. And that's what she hated most. I sat in the garage under a single bulb, running my hand over the tank. The air tag under the seat blinked. The driveway camera's red light glowed. I was ready, because I knew Kylie's next move wouldn't come with cops and witnesses. It would come in the dark. At 2:17 a.m., it did. My tablet lit up, motion detected. An unmarked flatbed backed into my driveway. 2 figures in hoodies slipped out, quiet, efficient. They didn't force the lock. They fished the emergency release cord. The garage door lifted. Chrome gleamed in the shadows. They rolled my Harley out like ghosts. No noise, no alarms. Strapped it down in minutes. This wasn't a repo. This was a theft. And it had Kylie Trent's fingerprints all over it. The tow truck's taillights vanish. The street folds back into silence like nothing ever happened. No panic. No trembling hands. Just a strange calm, the kind you feel when the storm finally hits. Dread gone. Purpose sharp. She sent thieves in the night. Not bylaws, not fines, grand theft. And now I have proof. The garage cam caught everything. High definition. The plate is grimy, but the night vision cleans it up. Numbers. Letters. Another note for the file. I open Find My. For a heartbeat, the AirTag shows its last location, my house. Then it flickers alive. The blue dot moves. Southbound. The hunt begins. I grab my jacket and keys. Not 911. Not yet. Cops will give me a report, maybe a case number. That's it. They have bigger fish. This fish is mine. I follow from a distance, headlights off when I can. Not a chase. Just shadowing. The tow truck plays it casual, drifting toward the dead part of town. 20 minutes later, the dot stops. A gutted strip mall. Boarded windows. Parking lot weeds. The place where things vanish. I park a block out and walk, phone camera ready. Witness to my own crime scene. A motion light flares. My shadow leaps across brick. I freeze. Cat knocks over a bottle. Clink, clink. One of the tow guys glances back, shrugs, climbs in. The truck coughs, rattles, idles. I film through a fence crack. Breath steady. When they unload my Harley, they don't treat it like a machine. They dump it behind a dumpster like garbage. My grandfather's bike. My bloodline. Rage burns hot, fast, but I smother it. Emotion is weakness. Method wins wars. The thieves leave. I stay. Camera rolling. My Harley, alone in the dark. Dawn creeps in. At home, I'm on my third coffee. Laptop open. The strip mall live on my feed. The bike, a silhouette by the dumpster. The AirTag confirms. Still there. I call non-emergency. I give them the location. The dispatcher drones the script. Don't approach. Officers en route. I'll wait. A cruiser rolls in as the sun breaks. 2 officers approach, flashlight sweeping. Chrome flares. They find it. VIN confirmed. Scene secured. Another piece clicks. An hour later, mustache cop, the same one from yesterday's standoff, knocks on my door. Recognition in his eyes. Weariness too. We keep meeting, Mr. Part, he says. I show him the footage. The tow truck. The license plate. He scribbles in his notebook. The Harley's impounded now, evidence in custody. But he warns me what I already know. Shell corporations, masked suspects, dead ends. I thank him anyway. He leaves. Safe doesn't mean over. This wasn't about stealing the bike. This was leverage. The theft was theater. The second act is coming. The phone rings. Caller ID, blocked. I hit record. One-party consent. Legal. Ben, it's Kylie. Her voice drips fake sympathy. Terrible what happened. The neighborhood's going downhill. I let her talk. Let her tighten her own noose. Impound fees, police never recover these things, such a shame. I know what's coming. The pivot. The mask drops. She lowers her voice. But there might be a way to resolve this. For everyone's benefit. The real crime. Extortion. I keep my voice small, shaky. I just want my bike back. I'll do whatever it takes. Shark smell. Blood in the water. Her tone brightens. Those fines, a few thousand, messy business. But what if it all went away? The association supports charities. A donation would be very helpful. I let silence stretch. Then, you want me to donate my Harley? She chuckles. A dry, cruel sound. It's not stolen. Just misplaced. Think of it as a donation. Sign over the title, and I'll wipe your slate clean. No more fines. No more trouble. Everyone wins. There it is. Quid pro quo. On record. Cleaner than I could have dreamed. I pretend to hesitate. Let me think. Her voice hardens. Nothing to think about. The offer expires at 5. After that, who knows where the bike ends up? Call over. The trap is sprung. An hour later, Mark Dwyer shows up. White-collar crime division. Jeans, polo, briefcase in hand. Weekend dad disguise, but his eyes cut sharp. She took the bait, he says. Mark doesn't even knock, he walks straight in. It's not a question. Hook, line, and sinker, I say, handing him my recorder. Backup copy. He sets a laptop on my kitchen table, cues up the official file. We listen in silence. Kylie's voice fills the room, smug, threatening, damning. The second time, it feels different. Heavy. Relief floods me. This isn't my word against hers anymore. This is ironclad. Mark closes the laptop with a grim smile. Beautiful. She tied stolen property, fake debts, and extortion into one neat bow. Textbook. She's toast. From his briefcase, he pulls folders. Let's build the weapon. For 2 hours, we assemble it piece by piece. Ownership, my grandpa's notarized Harley title, clean and clear, plus current registration and insurance. Harassment, my thick HOA binder, every bogus violation notice Kylie ever filed, each with my written rebuttal. A paper trail of harassment. Theft, my garage cam footage, paused on a crystal-clear shot of the tow truck's plate. Apex asset recovery. A shell company. Tracking, the AirTag map, unbroken, from my driveway to the dump site. Chain of custody, digital proof. And then the knock at the door. Rosa, my sweet next-door neighbor, holding her phone with shaky hands. I saw them last night, Ben. I couldn't sleep. She presses play, grainy porch cam footage. The men. My Harley. From a different angle. Perfect corroboration. Mark beams. Mrs. Alvarez, you may have just made yourself our star witness. She blushes, just happy to help. We pile it all together. Title, VIN, HOA notices, AirTag path, the garage cam, Rose's video, and the crown jewel, Kylie's extortion on tape. A bomb, ready to detonate. Mark snaps his briefcase shut. We can go official, warrants, arrests, the whole machine. She go down hard. But he leans in, eyes glinting. Why not let her bury herself first? Meetings next week, right? The week before the meeting is eerie. Quiet. I play the role, beaten man, lawn unkempt, head low when I see Kylie. She smirks like she's already won. Perfect. Mark and I meet in a coffee shop across town, planning like generals. No arguments. No anger. Just evidence. Stay calm, he says over black coffee. Let the facts do the shouting. He's cut a 54-second video. My garage cam spliced with Rosa's porch footage. Seamless. Then the call, just the damning line about signing over the title in exchange for forgiveness. Short, surgical, devastating. We rehearse like theater. Rosa laughs as Mark, wearing a napkin crown, plays Kylie. I practice my first line until it lands cold and steady. The night of the meeting, I polish my boots, feel the same chill focus I felt when my bike was stolen. My grandpa's voice in my head, lay out the parts, respect the process, the engine always runs. Inside the clubhouse, residents shuffle in with petty complaints. They don't know the storm that's coming. Kylie stands at the podium, white blazer crisp, smile glowing. Evan's in the front row, scrolling his phone. Queen and Prince. I take a seat in back. The trap is set. Business drones on, budgets, landscaping, decorations. Kylie commands the room, Robert's rules sharp as a knife. Finally, open forum. Does any member wish to address the board? I rise. Whispers ripple. The troublemaker. The biker. The board recognizes Mr. Hart, Kylie says, smiling like a shark. At the mic, I slump my shoulders, voice calm, almost meek. Good evening, Madam President, board members. I'm here about my fines. After a recent loss, I'd like to propose a settlement. But for context, with your permission, I'd like to play a brief recording. Kylie's smile widens. She can't resist. Permission granted, Mr. Hart. I plug in the thumb drive. Her own voice fills the speakers. Think of it as a donation. You sign over the title, and I'll see to it your fines disappear. The room gasps. Kylie's smile vanishes, her face drained. Before she recovers, I click the next file. On screen, the tow truck, my Harley, Rosa's corroborating video. Proof layered on proof. The room explodes, gasps, murmurs, outrage. Board members lean away from Kylie like she's radioactive. Evan buries his face in his hands. This is fake. Edited. Slander. Kylie screeches, voice cracking. But it's too late. Residents erupt. Donnie yelling about his fishing gnome, others shouting about fines and harassment. A quiet man in the back steps forward. She fined me for a wheelchair ramp. The mood shifts, no longer gossip, but judgment. The vice president stands. I move for an immediate executive session to discuss the conduct of the president. Another member seconds. A coup in real time. Evan blurts, "Mom, just stop." Too late. Kylie stammers about protecting values. Rosa fires back, "Values don't hide tow trucks behind dumpsters." The room turns. The board whispers become orders. Kylie stands frozen, her power dissolving in less than 2 minutes. The evidence was airtight, too clean, too direct. Kylie Trent couldn't lie her way out. As the board shuffled toward a back room in panic, the clubhouse doors banged open. Mark Dwyer walked in with 2 uniformed officers and a woman in a dark suit flashing a state badge, Detective Miller. Mark calmly picked up the microphone Kylie had dropped. "Good evening. Mark Dwyer, State Attorney's Office. We have a few things to discuss." The room froze. While the HOA board imploded behind closed doors, Mark and Miller took command. The officers stood silent, simply keeping order. The residents, once angry, were now quiet, watching with stunned awe. Miller walked to the podium. Kylie stood rigid, pale. "Kylie Trent," Miller said evenly. "We have a warrant to search your home and seize all financial and electronic records related to your role as HOA president." She held up the paper. "Signed by a judge this afternoon. Service is immediate." Kylie didn't even protest. No fire, no excuses, just a weak nod. One officer gently escorted her out, Evans sobbing at her side. The next morning we drove to the tow yard, me, Mark, and Detective Miller. My Harley would stay in City Impound for now. Today was about paper trails. The lot was bleak, chain-link fence, a shack reeking of smoke and sweat. A big man in a stained shirt stomped out, scowling. "Reuben Pike, owner of Apex Asset Recovery. This is private property. You got no business here," he growled. Miller flashed her badge. Mark handed him a warrant. All the fight drained out of Pike instantly. He wasn't stupid, he knew when the game was over. Inside, the office was a cluttered dump. Pike tried to bluster, "I just do jobs I'm paid for. I get a call, I move a car." Mark pointed to the work log. "Show me the order for a Harley Davidson picked up 2 nights ago from this address." Pike hesitated, sighed, then yanked a greasy invoice off a spike. There was, "My bike, my address. Remove and store. Await further instructions." I asked about cameras. Pike shrugged. "Old. Don't work." But Miller's eyes caught the live red LED blinking above the lot. She smiled. "Funny. Looks like it's working just fine." We stepped outside. A rusted pole held a weather-beaten sign, 24-hour video surveillance. Inside, a DVR hummed on a rack. A kid in a greasy cap reached for the power cord. "Hands off the DVR," Miller barked. He froze. She bagged the unit for evidence. Mark pulled up the footage. Grainy but clear. A flatbed truck in my driveway. Timestamp matched my garage cam. License plate visible. "That's yesterday," Mark said, tapping the date. Miller had an officer photograph the screen. Pike sagged into his chair, sweating. His lies crumbled. Faced with ruin, he spilled everything. Kylie had used him 6 times, always in cash, always off the books. This wasn't HOA business, it was personal. He gave a sworn statement on the spot. The chain was complete. Kylie's name tied directly to the theft. The news ripped through the neighborhood like wildfire. Kylie Trent, the untouchable queen of the HOA, was arrested. Extortion. Illegal towing. Abuse of power. For the first time in years, people weren't whispering. They were laughing, talking, standing in their yards. Uncle Donnie's gnome wasn't the only casualty, there were dozens more stories. Bogus fines. Foreclosure threats. Thousands stolen through phantom fees. Now it was over. Rosa Alvarez, whose video had gone viral, helped us draft a petition for recall. We needed 25% signatures. We got 60% in 2 days. People lined up with pens. "We're the group ending Kylie Trent," I'd say, and they'd sign without hesitation. A week later, the clubhouse was packed wall to wall. But this time the energy was electric, hopeful. Kylie sat in the back with her lawyer, looking small, defeated. The vote was unanimous. Kylie Trent, removed as HOA president. Cheers erupted, raw relief flooding the room. Motions followed. Cancel Apex's contract, passed. Censure the board for negligence, passed. Revise the bylaws to close Kylie's loopholes, passed. A quiet revolution, fought not with fists, but with paperwork. Weeks later, the neighborhood breathed easier. A temporary board declared amnesty on all fines under Kylie's reign. A forensic accountant traced her scheme, money funneled into a fake charity run by her son, Evan. Her empire was gone. Her house sat for sale, lawn unkempt, no one forcing her to mow. And my bike? Back in my garage. I polished it until chrome gleamed. Every wipe felt like erasing a scar. My grandfather's words echoed, "A man's got to stand up for his own. If you don't, nobody else will." Kylie tried to take what wasn't hers. She learned some people don't back down. A month later, Saturday, the garage door open, sun warm on my shoulders. The neighborhood was alive. Kids at the park, Donnie's gnome back in the garden, small freedoms everywhere. I swung a leg over the Harley, turned the key. The V-twin roared, steady and proud. Not obnoxious, just present. A declaration. I'm here. This is mine. I rode slow through the neighborhood. Rosa waved from her porch. Parents smiled as kids played freely. I passed Kylie's house. For sale sign out front. I felt nothing. No anger, no gloating. Just quiet. The problem was fixed. At the subdivision's exit, I shifted into gear. The road opened up toward the hills. Wind clean on my face. This was never just about a motorcycle. It was about a line. Kylie dared me to surrender my freedom for peace. But a peace built on submission isn't peace, it's a cage. And cages can be broken.